So welcome to another Sarah Falvey Yoga. Tonight we're going to look at, we're going to do a nice Vinyasa warm-up, looking at some abdominal strengtheners throughout it, followed by some shoulder mobility and upper chest openings. I hope you enjoy the class. So just getting yourselves ready, sitting with your legs crossed, your spine tall and your hands, first of all pressing into the fingertips and placing them to the outer sides of the hips. Roll the shoulders back and down, lengthen the spine, crown of the head lifting up, broaden across the chest, and lengthen the back of the neck. Begin to close the eyes and bring your awareness to your breathing. Maintain the lift of the chest and place the hands on the legs. And continue to focus on the breath. Beginning to exhale fully now. And inhale slowly and deeply. Maintaining the lift of the chest as you exhale smooth and steady. Join the palms and bow the head. Together we will chant 3 Ohms. Draw your gaze towards your heart and make your intention for your practice now. Release the hands, open the eyes and raise the gaze. Okay, coming into Adho Mukha Virasana. Knees apart, toes to touch, and just walking the hands and extending, releasing the forehead down. Just allowing the body to sink, the lower back to release and lengthen, the side of the trunk to sit gently on the inner thighs, stretching out the arms, lifting the sternum bone towards the hands and releasing the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Resting the forehead down and just taking in a few smooth, steady breaths. Just lengthening through the spine, creating space between the ribs, space in the waist as the weight shifts back down into the buttocks, pressing into the buttocks, pressing into the calves, and lengthening forward from the hips, through the waist, through the side ribs, through the armpit, chest, and into the hands. Keeping those shoulders away from the ears, moving the collarbones away from the hands as the chest moves forward. From here we'll come up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So curl the toes under, inhale and lift the knees, exhale, extend back. So allow the legs to be nice and wide, wider than you usually if you want to. You can come up onto your toes to get the hips nice and high, pressing into the palms, again getting that lovely length that we were working with in Adho Mukha Virasana, lengthening all the way up through the armpit, chest,
all the way to the hips, lifting those sitting bones high and then pressing the thighs back, and the heels can come back and down as you press the thighs back, open the backs of the knees, lengthen the calf muscles towards the heels and open up the whole of the back of the leg. Some smooth, steady breaths here as you keep lengthening up and pressing back with the tops of the thighs. Really feel that the upper spine is starting to awaken now as you move the shoulder blades in towards each other, rolling the upper arms out. At the end of your exhale, the navel comes into the spine. Keep working the shoulder blades down the back and forward in towards the front of the body to really help to awaken the upper spine. And we're going to come forward into a standing pose. Inhaling, coming up. And grabbing your belt, we'll place the belt around the wrists to come into Uttanasana. We're going to try and open up here in the collarbones, trying to roll the shoulders back to really improve the shoulder mobility for this evening's class. So the hands, the belt is wrapped around the wrists and the arms extend back. Lift the chest, keep the feet the distance of the hips, and press firmly down into the feet. Flesh of the buttocks moving down, abdomen lifted, sternum bone lifted. Inhale, lift the trunk, and exhale, begin to fold forward over and taking the arms towards the head, away from the sacrum. Lengthening through the arms, lengthening into the fingertips. Keep the shoulders away from the ears as the neck and the head, the skull, they move towards the floor. Keep lifting the sitting bones, pressing the thighs back, rolling the thighs in, and pressing into the feet. Bring your awareness back now into the arms as they come maybe a little bit away, a little bit more or further away. Keep extending the arms, drawing the shoulder blades in towards each other. And the trapezius muscle, that muscle just below the neck, try not to let it bunch around the neck, draw it back. Keep resisting the belt by pressing the wrists into the belt, straightening the elbows, and then on an inhale, pressing into the feet, inhale, come up to standing. And then release the belt. So we're going to do a couple of sun salutations now. So maybe get the lights on, keep the sunsets here in my studio, our Devon Park studio. We're going to stand at the top of our mat. So standing tall with the feet touching, the arms rolling out, the shoulders back and down. That same action that you had when the hands were behind you. The shoulder blades moving in. The trapezius muscle moving down the back. So that's the action that we're trying to get in most of the class tonight. Inhale, take the arms up, looking up. Exhale, come down into Utkatasana. We're going to do this slowly to start with. Keep stretching into the fingers, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and sit back down, taking the weight of the heels into the feet. Squeeze the thighs. Keep lengthening into the fingers. Inhale. And then exhale, release the hands onto the mat into Uttanasana. Keep drawing those shoulders back. Inhale, half Uttanasana. Look up, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the palms and step or jump the feet back to plank. And then dropping down into Chaturanga. See if you can come back, up, maybe onto the knees, but back up into downward facing dog. We'll skip the cobra for now. We're going to come from downward facing dog into pigeon. So take the right foot to the right wrist, left knee drops, come up onto the fingertips and lengthen the spine. Stay here for a couple of breaths, allowing the hips to align evenly, both hips
The same plane here as we lengthen back into the finger. Then we'll take the left leg and cross it into Swastikasana. From Swastikasana, come into Navasana with the knees bent. Just squeeze the legs, extend the arms, lift the chest, lift the lower back. Nice steady breath. And then we're going to take the left leg down and the right leg back and come into pigeon on the left side. Once again, dropping down into the hip. On the left side, lengthening up through from the pubic bone to the navel and the navel to the sternum. Sitting back onto the left buttock, swinging the right leg around, coming into Swastikasana. Fingertips back behind you, toes to point. We're coming into Navasana. Stretch the arms. We had it with bent knees the last time. Let's see if we can stretch them out. The toes pointing. Draw the navel in, lift the sternum, lift the lower back, and keep the legs together, the toes just a little bit above eye level. And then crossing back into Swastikasana and coming to downward facing dog. So stepping back, palms flat and the distance of your shoulders, lengthening back through the spine, smooth and steady breath. And then we're going to, at the end of the exhale, step or jump the feet forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold down. And inhale, just come to standing. And back with the shoulder blades back and down, upper arms rolling out. Coming into Tadasana. So the next round, we'll move a little bit faster. So inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift, look up. Exhale, step or jump the feet back to plank and drop down to Chaturanga. Then push back up into downward facing dog. Right leg into pigeon. Inhale here. Exhale, take the left leg and swing it back. Inhale, keep it in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Straight arms, straight legs. Extend the heels. Extend through the inner leg and take the outer hip down. Draw the navel to the spine. Palms facing the ceiling. We're going to come back with the left leg in front. Crossing the ankles. Roll forward and come back into the left side pigeon. Right leg back. Lengthening up. Right leg extending back. And then swinging the right leg forward. We'll come back into Paramuktasana. So that Paramuktasana, knees together, squeezing the legs in towards the belly, hands behind the head like it's almost a headstand position. Exhale to the left knee with the right elbow. Inhale. Exhale to the right elbow with right knee with the left elbow. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, crossing over, right knee. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, exhale, left knee. Right knee, inhale. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, exhale, right knee. Last one, inhale, exhale, left knee. And then we cross the ankles, roll back, and plant the palms for downward dog. Step back, inhale, exhale. And then stepping or jumping. Inhale, lift, look up. Exhale, fold down into Uttanasana. And then we just slowly come to standing. Inhaling and raising the trunk and rolling the shoulders back. So from here, you may need a belt. So the belt, if you need it, can be placed here on your shoulder. Standing with the feet firm together, toes to touch. So the trapezius muscle moving down the back. Lengthen the neck. Allow the flesh of the buttocks to move down in the same direction as the trapezius muscle, and the shoulder blades moving down. So the whole of the back body extends down, standing in Tadasana. Arms firm, upper arms rolling out, helping to draw those shoulder blades in towards each other. So the action here we're looking at is in the upper spine, trying to help to move it into the body, to bring more mobility in there. Inhale now, draw the arms up by the sides of the ears. Keep the arms in by the sides of the head, hands facing each other, and keep the weight broad across both sides of the feet, inner and outer foot. Lifting the muscles of the legs, lifting the hips, lifting the navel and the sternum. Maintain the shoulders down away from the ears though. Keep extending. Keep that right arm where it is, and let's take the left arm up the back, walking the hand up for Gomukhasana, in between the shoulder blades as much as you can. Really open up in the collarbone on the left side. Inhale, lengthening up through the right fingertips, and exhale, bend the arm and interlock the fingers. As much as we're trying to move the upper spine in, try not to stick out the ribs, drawing the ribs in, the navel in towards the spine, to avoid any overarching in the more flexible region of the spine. So lengthening from one elbow to the other. One elbow is moving down to the floor, the other elbow is moving up to the ceiling. Rotating that upper arm, that upper right arm rolls in towards the ear. And then inhale and exhale, take them both back up again. Exhale, swing the right arm back and up between the shoulder blades. Exhale, take the left hand down. Interlock the fingertips. Nice, smooth, steady breath. Keeping both sides of the trunk long. Keep the head in line with the spine and that upper arm rolling in. Feel the hands in the upper spine and bring awareness there. Maybe push it in a little bit. The hands are finding contact, easy contact. Inhale, take both arms out, and exhale, come back to Tadasana. We're going to do Trikonasana next, but using a belt around our wrists. So that same belt and that same distance, so if you weren't sure about the distance, you try and measure from one side of the shoulder to the other, and slightly in a little bit, so that the wrists have something to push against. So you place the belt at the back of the mat. The hands are pressing firm into the belt, and you can step or jump the feet wide. And we'll go to the right side first. So turning the left foot slightly in and the right foot all the way out, keeping that right leg fully turned out. The trunk is lifted and facing forward, and there's nothing but the arms to do but to extend back. Once they're pressing in against that belt, you can feel the opening in the upper chest already. So we maintain that as we move into the pose. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine, and exhale, coming over to the right. The hands move with the trunk, so the fingertips now are pointing to the side wall. And the shoulder blade on both sides are moving in towards each other. Turn the waist, turn the trunk, and turn the neck and head if you can to look up to the left, to look up over your top shoulder. Keep the arms active and extending into the fingers, and really feel that the chest, that upper chest is moving forward, lifting and opening the front body. Feel the armpit chest opening, the collarbone spreading, the whole of the front of the body opening up, really creating more mobility here in the shoulders and in the upper spine. Now inhale, you can begin to come back up, and exhale, turn the foot and come into the center.
Keep the arms the way they are. Left side. Let right foot slightly in and right foot all the way out. Keep the arms engaged, the spine long. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, coming over to the left. Keep extending both arms and turning the waist and trunk and head to look over that right shoulder. Drawing the muscles of the legs up, keeping the weight down into the baby toe side of that back leg and the big toe mound of the left leg. Lengthening through the inner groin and really beginning to feel that right shoulder blade moving towards the spine and lifting the sternum towards the chin. Inhale, coming back up, and exhale, turn the feet, and steppers jump the feet together. Okay, you can place the belt. We're going to use the belt again. Apologies, we're going to go to the side for the next pose, which is Parsavottanasana. So having a little rest from the belt is no harm. Okay, so the heels are in line with each other, the hips are to the side, the trunk is facing the side, and this back thigh is rolling from the inside out. The action of the arms, sometimes we have our hands in prayer behind the back, sometimes we're taken down by the feet. But today we'll extend the arms back, inhale, lengthen up, and exhale. We're working at keeping the navel in and not arching the lower back, but maybe arching a little bit in the upper back. As you come forward, keep the chin lifted. Take the arms back like you did in Uttanasana earlier. The back leg is strong. You're pressing into the front foot, big toe mound and inner heel, keeping those hips level, and maybe just at the very end the head can descend. The neck releasing away from the ears. The neck releasing away from the shoulders. Inhale, coming back up. And inhale, come to the center and turning on your exhale. So heel in line with heel, hips facing the side wall, rolling the shoulders in towards each other, extending the arms. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine, and exhale, feeling the shoulder blades moving in, navel drawn in, sternum to the chin, and it's the trapezius muscle moving away from the ears. And then maybe when you feel that you have reached your maximum, you may release the neck and let the head descend. Keep pressing back into that back heel, and the arms might come back away from the sacrum a little bit further, or not. Just watching your balance here, keeping the weight firm into that back heel, and then inhale, coming back up, and exhale, release. I want you to come back to Tadasana now, and just feel how the shoulders and neck are feeling with the use of the belt for the last two poses. There's a natural action here of the upper arms rolling out. The chest is lifted and broad. Buttocks descend. Breath is steady. And then release. So even when you do release, notice, are you releasing and rounding, or are you releasing and holding that nice openness that we've been achieving through the use of the belt in our poses? So we're going to move now to the ground, and I'd like you to get 2 bricks. We're going to be lying over 2 bricks. Just making sure that we're rolling. We are indeed. Okay, so one brick goes like so, and the other brick goes like so. Okay, so we have long and wide. So this is for your upper spine, and this is for your head.
This here, I don't want it to be too close to your neck. We're going to do it twice. One, it's going to be a little bit lower down, and one, it's going to be a little higher up, actually very close to this the second time. So when we come down into it, you want to try and feel that the upper spine has a good support and that it's straight. It's between the shoulder blades and your head has something to rest on. So there should be no tension here in the neck region, or no gathering of any muscles of any muscle area there in that neck region. So once you have your position, it should be like kind of far enough down to feel the end of the brick just at the end of your shoulder blades. The arms rest by the sides of the trunk, palms open. And again, the action here is for the upper spine to really help to move it forward into the chest. And the legs, you can start with them bent, but they may be more comfortable lying flat, or maybe you like to cross them into swastikasana. Whatever option that you choose. We're going to be here for a couple more moments, so just get yourselves comfortable. But not too comfortable, because it's not actually meant to be a starter pose as such. It's more an active pose in the upper spine. So we're trying to lift the upper spine up, away from the brick. And you can feel that you're drawing energy from the outer ribs and lifting up into the spine, into the back body, into the upper spine. Next we're going to move the brick just a little bit up. You don't have to get up, you just push it a little bit closer to the neck. And it has a slightly different area now that it's pressing into. And once again, we're working at lifting the spine away from the brick rather than sinking into it. So keep those upper arms rolling out, keep lifting off the brick somewhat. Make sure your neck isn't strained. Go up higher if you need to go up higher, or give yourself some more support there under the head. So again, the legs can be straight or bent. And see if you can notice any difference in this general region of the upper spine, the area closer to the neck versus the area closer to the middle ribs. Which is easier to move, to feel action in, which is duller. And when we awaken the dull areas, we awaken prana in our bodies. So press into the elbows, lift the head and neck, and lift yourself off the bricks. Inhale and exhale. So we're going to just leave our bricks over there. We don't need them actually. Yeah. The next pose is handstand, but if you're not into handstand, you might like to do Virasana. So I'll quickly show you Virasana. This is the one where the knees stay together, the toes go back, and you can practice this arm movement and interlocking the second way up and holding it for maybe 5 to 10 breaths on each side, and maybe you might need to prop yourself up. If you can come into handstand, draw your mat into the wall, and we're going to be looking again at, when we come up into handstand, that this area here, the upper back, is working towards the front of the body. We you know, a lot of us have flexibility here in the lower spine and not so much here, and so when we go up, we tend to kind of banana into our lower backs. So draw the navel in and work this area forward. So it's kind of the opposite of maybe what you might tend to do. So the hands need to be firm when we're in it. So the hands go about 5 centimeters away from the wall, middle finger pointing forward, and you can come into a downward dog,
and maybe a smaller downward dog, and maybe you can take 1 foot forward, keep the neck and head down, keep the arms straight and strong and the palms firm into the mat, and then you can begin to kick up with whatever leg feels more comfortable for you, and then immediately I want you to correct any of those habits that we might have of arching in the lower back by drawing the navel in and moving the upper spine into the front chest, opening up the armpits by pressing into the palms of the hands, extending up through the inner heel, keeping the line so that the heels, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, the wrists are all in one nice plane, one nice aligned plane. The crown of the head descending, lifting up the shoulders away, and keep moving that upper spine in, keep drawing the navel in and rolling the thighs in, extending up through the inner heels. And we're going to come back down and rest in Uttanasana. And then inhale, come to sitting. You can have a brick handy for the pose, not this pose, but the following pose. So we're going to come to lie on our mat. And the feet remain the distance of the hips and take them in close to the buttocks. We're coming into Chaturshpadasana, which is very like little bridge. And we're not using any props. We're going to use our legs to work our legs strongly to help to lift the pelvis up. And because we've done a lot of work now on the upper spine and helping to move it into the body, it should help us to get into the pose and be able to hold the pose for a few breaths. So keep pressing into the big toe round and inner heel as you lift the pelvis up. Come onto the tips of the shoulders. So this is just like a shoulder stand action. And you can hold on to and grip the mat. Lifting the pelvis, keeping the knees in. I want you to focus on moving the upper spine towards the chin and lengthening the neck. So moving those shoulder blades in, rotating the upper arms out, and keeping the lift, holding on to the mat so you can get that action of the straight arms that we were working with earlier, the upper arms rolling out and helping those shoulder blades move in to help to lift that and to move that upper spine into the body. And then exhale, slowly release back out of it. Moving the shoulders away and just allowing the breath to come back to normal. We're going to practice that again. And this time you might be able to hold on to the ankles. And if you don't hold on to the ankles easily, maybe you could get 2 belts and place them around the ankles and hold on to the belts. Or maybe if you don't have belts, you could use socks or maybe scarves or something. So holding on to the front of the ankle, keeping the feet, the outer feet parallel to the outer edges of the mat and in line with the hips. And begin to tuck the tailbone in, begin to lift the pubic bone to the ceiling and roll the shoulders so that your shoulder blades move towards each other and the shoulders move in towards the spine and the spine moves in towards the chest. Again, lengthening the neck, keeping those arms active and straight, getting the upper arms rolling out to help with the action in the shoulders. Really feel that you're opening and lifting the chest here. Keep pressing firm into the inner foot and the outer foot and action in the legs, softening the buttocks. And then exhale, begin to release all the way, vertebrae by vertebrae, down, slowly down. And relax on the mat for a moment.
For the third variation of this pose, it's Setubandha or Vinyasa actually, but it kind of looks similar. You can use your brick and take it in underneath the sacrum. We're having the same action with all of it. So you lift up and allow the sacrum to sit onto your support. Lengthening the arms. I might just move in a little bit, just so that my head isn't on the edge there. Okay, so this time the arms are open, and you want to have a steadiness in the brick here, because we're going to be doing some raised legs. So if you feel that your brick needs to be moved, just do it now, because you don't want it to fall over. So the wooden bricks are the best ones for this, or something that's solid. Okay, so the hands can interlock here underneath the pelvis. Again, working the shoulder blades in towards each other, so straight arms really helps that. Moving the sternum to the chin and keeping the neck long. Press firm into both feet. And now inhale, extend the left leg up, straighten it. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, lengthening it up, and exhale, coming back down. You should be able to engage once again before we go to the other side. So engage the arms, lift the chest. Inhale, lift the other leg. Straighten up the leg, lengthen out through the inner leg. And then exhale, coming down. So we'll just do it twice. That was one set. We'll do the second set, so stretching the leg up as you press the other foot down, keeping the hips level. The sacrum being supported helps us to keep that sacrum level. And the work here is keeping that upper spine lifting up and then releasing down. And then coming onto your toes, releasing the brick, and then slowly rolling back down out. Okay, and then we will slowly come, oh yes, so we have nice pose next, it's Viparita Karani. Now if you feel like going into shoulder stand, now would be a lovely time to go into shoulder stand. I'm going to go into Viparita Karani myself. So I'm going to use the bolster and place the brick just here, just to give me some space to get in. And as you all know, it's a bit tricky to get into. You take the buttocks right in to the wall and allow the legs to come up. And if you used a brick, you usually take it out. Okay, so you're either setting up for your shoulder stand or coming into the Viparita Karani here against the wall. Legs raised, lengthening up through the inner leg and opening up the palms of the hands. So remember, not using the bolster if you're menstruating, but this use of the bolster acts as an inversion, which is added benefit therapeutically speaking, bringing the blood flow down towards the heart from the pelvis region. So the blood flows down the legs into the pelvis, into a nice little pool of blood there, and then it releases down into all the organs from the pelvis down through the abdominal space and into the lungs and into the heart and into the brain. So it's a great oxygen, it's the journey of the oxygen going the other way. And here the chest has an opportunity to broaden and open, the abdomen to descend, and making sure those upper arms are nice and rotated here to allow for that chest to experience its full expansion. into the top part of your chest now, that's broad and open and alive. Any dullness that you may have experienced earlier, before you started this practice, the breath is ready to fill it up here, up in the top chest. Right into the collarbones now, filling up the breath, filling up the lungs with the breath. And a slight pause at the top of the inhale, and maintain that broadness across the chest as you exhale. Noticing how the navel naturally descends. And again, stopping at the top of your inhale, feeling just the hold, the retention of the breath as the expansion of the lungs is full, filling the side ribs, the back ribs, and then a slow, steady exhale. Slight pause at the end of your exhale, and then a last round here. Nice, slow, deep, even breath through both sides of the lungs, expanding the ribs, expanding the back ribs, the top chest. A slight pause at the top here, and then a slow, steady exhale, maintaining the lift in the top chest. And observing the navel descending. And going back to the normal breath. Maybe you'd like to take the legs wide. Get extending through the inner leg here. And then joining them together and taking them down into Vinyasa. So the feet together, knees wide. Another nice full, even inhalation now, nice and deep. And a slow and steady exhalation. Right down into the pit of the belly. Last one now. Inhaling. Slow and deep. Expanding the ribs up and out. Top ribs, top chest, lifting, expanding. Maintaining the lift and exhale slowly and steadily. And bringing the legs back up into their normal position again. Normal breathing. Maybe opening the eyes. And we'll bend the knees and slowly roll over to the side and come off to sitting. And for this last pose, I'd like us to do swastikasana. So swastikasana is with the legs crossed, so you might like to have a little rise in the hips, and you might need a chair or some height, maybe your bolster and your brick, something that your head can rest on. Okay, so it's going to be a forward fold. So allowing the legs to cross, inhale, line up the arms with the side of the ears, inhale, and then exhale, coming forward. And resting the forehead on your chair or on your brick or on the bolster. Keep the buttocks down, and if there's any pain in the lower back, come up a little bit higher. Just
allow the body to release and let go now. Allow the spine to feel soft. The breath to be soft. And allow the front brain to release back into the back brain. And then slowly inhale, come back up, raise the arms, exhale, and we just change the crisscross of the legs. Inhale, raise the arms up, lift the sternum, and exhale, keeping the sitting bones down, you begin to release forward. So you don't need anything for your arms though. It may be nice, but you don't need anything. The hands can just rest onto the ground if they come naturally to it. So just finding a connection with your forehead onto a support of some kind. Softening and letting go now. Letting go of any tension you might be holding in the back. This pose is to release any tension, any remaining tension. Release the brain. And then inhale, coming back up. And we'll come to Shavasana. So if you need to grab socks or a jumper or a blanket, you can get yourself set up. And we'll lie down for Shavasana. You might like to use a blanket for your head. And turn off the lights if you have any lights on. We'll just lie with the legs falling out either line of the spine. Arms slightly turned out, the back of the neck long. Relaxing fully now. Continuing to feel all tension melting away. Relaxing the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Releasing the muscles of the back, the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. Softening the belly, softening the groins, and relaxing the arms and the legs. Release any tension you might be holding in the jaw, in the forehead, in the ears. Allow the breath to become soft. then we'll slowly come out of Shavasana now, wiggling the toes and the fingers, stretching the arms overhead. Bending the knees and rocking from side to side. Rocking all the way over to one side and coming up to sitting. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.